Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to a very spooktacular episode of the Jock podcast featuring Dr. London Smith. On behalf of the Jock boys, I'd like to wish the entire Jock Nation a very happy Halloween. Except for you, Spookster. You can go to hell. And get the fuck out of our town.
Hello, and welcome to the Jock podcast, where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I would like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as aromatase inhibitors and meow mix. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, I am so excited to announce that the candy that I'm going to be handing out for Halloween, I'm almost ready for the beta, to put out the beta for it.
Wow. Okay. I know you've been...
I think this is the year. I'm going to be handing it out this year, for real.
Okay, because, I do see you've got the bag full here, but is that...
Oh, yeah.
And that's just in case you decide to start?
I'm pretty sure it's going to happen tonight. Absolutely. Let me promote it, because Dr. London, once this takes off, we release this episode, people are going to be hankering for these.
Oh, please.
Dr. London, are you familiar with the snack gushers?
Okay.
Gushers.
It's the one that gushes, right?
It's the one that gushes. Now, what is everyone's favorite part of gushers?
Ooh, I want to say it's the gushing.
It's the gushing. It's that it blows up in your mouth and that it like goos everywhere and it just sort of like gushes.
And it transforms your head also, correct? Into a big bloated thing that's in the shape of a gusher?
Yeah, into the shape of, I think, the fruit that you were eating. But yeah, not necessarily of a gusher, but like of a grape or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, now follow me, Dr. London. You are a doctor, right?
Yes, correct. Okay.
What is another thing that gushes that a very famous doctor always handles that people love and he's very popular? Dr. Pimple Popper. I have my new snack. They're called Zit Bits. Have you ever wanted to eat a zit? Have you ever wanted to chomp down on a gooey red morsel and then just it goos pus all over the inside of your tongue?
You know, there is this concept. Every time I'm told that I can't do something, I do want to do it. And my all of the other doctors at my practice keep telling me, no, do not eat the zits. So I follow on this.
That's what I've gotten so much feedback, Dr. London, where kids are saying, everyone keeps telling me to stop eating my zits. Or, I've grown men, adults, old people have been texting me saying, I wish I could eat my zits, but my doctor says no. Do you want to go ahead and try one of these bad boys?
Yeah, it feels like such a forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
But, okay.
And here's I'm opening up the sack, and don't worry if it feels like it's moving around in there. That's fine. That's just sacks. That's how sacks work. There's moving around stuff in there.
Okay. And I just put it in my mouth and chew it.
Yeah. And then it's gonna gush everywhere. Oh, it's gonna be hot as shit. Yeah, I forgot about that part.
And so much how do you get it to gush that much out in such a small package?
Well, Dr. London, it's just like a pimple. We use pimple technology. You know how a pimple can look small, but underneath there might be tons of nonsense.
Straight up geyser in there. Yeah.
It's the same thing. So in this case, it looked small while you're putting it in your mouth. That was an optical illusion. It was actually way bigger than that.
Wow. Just underneath the surface of this compact,
how you saw it, how you perceived it.
Right. Okay.
It's really trippy like that. I trip out on Zit Bits all the time. Me and my homies, we get around a bonfire and we'll trip out and just hang out in the woods and shit.
Is that why we are currently at a bonfire in the woods?
Yes, this is the best place to sort of experience Zit Bits. We're gonna put on some good music and just vibe out. And if you start to freak out, let me know and I'll talk you down.
Okay. Do you have orange slices as well? Do we have the whole... I feel like there's going to be a lot necessary to keep me from kind of tripping out.
There's some orange ones in there. Do you want to go and just stick your hand in the sack?
Honestly, yeah, okay.
Tidbit.
Yeah.
Find an orange one, I'm sure.
Man, it's so hot and so much.
It's going to be hot. A lot of them are going to be very spicy, and a lot of them are going to be very sour.
Yeah.
You're experimenting with different flavors.
Yeah.
Just like Doritos.
Yeah. Famously, the chip of flavor, of variety.
Or ice cream has different flavors.
Yeah.
Or Oreos has different flavors. Or Gushers even has different flavors.
Oreo's famous for its variety of flavors, yeah.
Nerds.
Okay. So that's our producer, Cameron.
Lay's. You know how Lay's potato chips has like ketchup and like fucked up ones like that? Like ones it's like coffee.
Also with us in the corner here is Digital in the House. And he's laying down the beats once again for us to experience this sort of woodsy, zit bit, just taste, just an orchestra of taste going on.
Yeah. DJ Dylan is a huge fan of Halloween, and it is the eve of the Hollows tonight. And so we've got this fire going. We're thinking maybe tell some spooky stories. Like, for example, what if you were a patient and Dr. London walked in? That's my spooky story. It hurts my stomach.
Yeah, can't stand that. Digital in the House. Cameron, we have a sponsor today. Yeah, Cameron? Okay, he's going outside again. Okay, so we're sponsored by Caldera Lab. They're this great skincare company. They help you to make great first impressions. And the issue we had here was that Cameron, before he used Caldera, he met this crow outside. And he feels like since he's now experienced the big transformation of the youthful skin that Caldera brings, he feels like he was at a disadvantage at first. So now he's going to fight this crow. And now he keeps saying like, oh, I'm going to make a second impression now in its skull. And I'm like, Karen, it's just a bird. Why are you intimidated? But crows are supposed to be like a very smart bird. And so he's really just insecure. But in any case, Caldera Lab creates high-performance men's skincare products, and the regimen leads off their product lineup. It's a twice-a-day routine to transform your skin. Caldera Lab knows the skincare world is heavily female-driven. It's been the wild, wild west for men, but no longer, because Caldera Lab has the regimen, which is 3 products, the Clean Slate, the Base Layer, and the Good. The Clean Slate starts and ends your day. This face wash leaves all types of skin refreshed. And I will say, Cameron has not... I wish he would apply that Clean Slate policy to his relationship with this crow, because keeps going. Okay, and I'm seeing him. He's waving a bat in the air above the crow as if he thinks the crow's gonna fly up. Like he's like, well, that's what crows do. They're birds. They're gonna go up. So he never actually aims for it. He thinks he's getting ahead of it, but then the crow like jumps to the side, whatever. And I don't want to give any credit to Cameron's theory that the crow is trying to outsmart him, but like it does seem to be manipulating him to like bump his own head with the bat. And I don't know. Next, we have the base layer. That's your daily moisturizer to hydrate your skin and jumpstart your day full of confidence. And once again, Cameron has been more confident since using Caldera, but he's so haunted by his past mistakes with this bird that when he sees his mistakes, I think he just walked by it and like maybe just didn't prove himself to be an alpha at first, and that's what he thinks is a problem. But he's trying to assert that confidence now. So anyway, the good is your go-to multifunctional serum at night that helps your skin look tighter and smoother, as well as helps reduce the visibility of wrinkles and fine lines. It's packed with antioxidants to protect your skin. And there's also Caldera Lab Icon Eye Serum. It addresses the 3 most common skin concerns around the eye: fine lines, dark circles, and puffiness. Okay, and Cameron is being chased by the bird now. Like the crow is really chasing him, and he is really just like, okay, he threw the bat. He is full force running to the door, tripped. Okay, he's just on the ground. And now he pulled out his wallet. He's offering the crow money, but I think the crow is just like a normal bird, so it doesn't get that it's being offered money. It's also not even being that aggressive, but Cameron's crying now. It's kind of weeping like this bird. Okay. So Caldera Lab is a leader in men's skincare, made with only top-tier ingredients. Clinical trials have found that 94% of men's skincare showed an overall younger-looking appearance after using Caldera Lab for a few weeks. It's a 1-minute morning and night routine to reduce your wrinkles, fine lines, and signs of aging. And just for our audience, we have an exclusive offer. This is their best offer available anywhere. Use code JOCKDOC at calderalab.com for 20% off right now. That's 20% off with code JOCKDOC at calderalab.com and make unforgettable first impressions. And okay, people are going to call you beautiful, but I will say, like, Cameron, maybe just don't make the second impression. Like, maybe your first impression was actually fine. But yeah, improve your first impressions. 20% off at calderalab.com with code JOCKDOC. But before we move on to all that, first let's address this listener feedback. For a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of well-fed but suspiciously hungry hippos. However, in our efforts to cater to those hippos, we were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. So this week's feedback comes from a bot on TikTok on our video entitled Sheila Speaks Sasquatch. User Kiwi Ranch commented, quote, "Take your meds, schizo." So first of all, thank you so much for reaching out with your feedback. That the stuff really helps us to improve. I just want to make something clear here because I feel like they're trying to prompt me to give something away here. We have a curriculum, okay? So I will not teach you about schizophrenia or schizotypal or schizoid diagnoses, nor about the treatments for them until we reach that section in the podcast syllabus.
Yeah, and we've told our listeners from the beginning, like, okay, you have an ailment. You have to wait till we get to that category.
Yeah. If I jump every time, it's going to screw up the whole thing.
If you're like, oh, my left arm is really like hurting and tingling and numb and my heart's beating really fast and I'm sweating, you're going to have to wait until we talk about that, then go to that episode and get the advice you need, then go to Dr. London and give him money to cure you. Yeah.
And I get that people might think like, well, this is the only medical podcast there is. And yeah, I get that we are the sole provider of a medical education.
Yeah.
But once again, we have to stay organized because we had a lot of versions, a lot of sort of pilot episodes we did where I kept just answering every single question as it came in, and it was not sustainable. And it just gets so frustrating, and it's drama and it's gossip, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of
Well,
it.
you hate drama. That's one of your things you say all the time. You absolutely hate drama. You feel like it follows you around because all of this drama just won't leave you alone.
That's right. Yeah. So shut your mouth. And thank you so much for the feedback.
And now there's another possibility, which is that the feedback they were trying to use that as a reminder on their phone, like, oh, I'm supposed to take my schizo meds in the morning, but you put it in a TikTok comment, and so maybe that was a request, like, can you let me know every morning, or at that specific time that person posted, like, hey, here's a reminder, take your meds.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. So two possibilities here. I'd say one makes me angrier. I'm not sure which one at this point because I'm just kind of fuming now.
Yeah.
So
neither make me happier. I can tell you that neither produce any sort of positive feeling.
Yeah. So
just dread and embarrassment, really.
Loneliness, a lot of like stuff from my past kind of coming back to me now. So thank you for listening and for leaving that comment. Now for today's medical topic, complex regional pain syndrome. So complex regional pain syndrome, or reflex sympathetic dystrophy, is characterized by severe excruciating pain in a limb, like the arm or the leg, with allodynia, which is pain that's elicited by normal stimuli that normally wouldn't, feel painful. In patients with complex regional pain syndrome, there are typically vasomotor symptoms as well as intermittent edema, which is like swelling, and skin color changes. In patients with
so this is not unlike when I sort of, beat the heck out of these nerds.
I think that was more.
They end up a different color, and you said they hurt a lot, and a lot of it's in their arm. That's where I focus. These dweebs that I've been thrown into lockers and stuff lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go down to the local elementary school.
Yeah, well, I didn't know where they were for so long because I was like, I remember all these dweebs in school, and they kept moving me around to different schools, and there's all these dweebs. But for a long time, for like 15 years, I haven't seen many of these dweebs at all. I see them on TV at like Comic-Con, but I just didn't see them. And then someone told me, no, they're still at school. And so, yeah, I've been like crushing these dweebs.
Yeah, and it seems like you've been trying to get them canceled too, because you'll also beat their faces until, like you said, they change color, and then you'll accuse them of like of going in blackface or whatever. But it's just
racial insensitivity. Yeah,
but it's just because you beat them so bad. So.
Yeah. Well, and it's not like I'm like hitting them that hard. It's just that I'm an adult and they're a child. Yeah. So obviously it's gonna look a lot worse than it actually is.
Yeah. And that's what you kept explaining to the police. Like it looks worse
to the kid
than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, to both. So in patients with complex regional pain syndrome, there is always a history of trauma damaging the myelin of peripheral nerves. So
like my nerds, yeah, go ahead.
So it's sort of like being haunted by a previous acute injury. So the cause of complex regional...
Just like my nerds are haunted by the presence of me, the thought of me.
Mm-hmm. The cause of complex regional pain syndrome is unknown. I guess now we have one suspect at least. And there's no precise testing, but nuclear bone scan and MRI are abnormal in affected persons. Treatment for complex regional pain syndrome.
That is also true. I've never, gotten one of these kids like an MRI or anything. I don't feel like that's my responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that also applies to me.
Yeah. So treatment for complex regional pain syndrome is similar to treating peripheral neuropathy with NSAIDs, tricyclic antidepressants, gabapentin, and pregabalin.
And again, I don't have access to a lot of the, at least most of those.
Your role in
but I do prescribe a few. Yeah, what I have on me.
Yeah, but yeah, mostly you perceive your role as the instigator of the issue, not so much resolving it.
Well, they instigated it by being dorks and dweebs and nerds and geeks.
Once again, that's what you say with every punch. Like, you started this!
Yeah.
By being you. So Cameron, we mentioned that this is kind of the time of year whenever we gather around the fire, we eat these the zit bits, and we kind of just share about what's been difficult in our lives and maybe a little bit of what's been haunting us. So
no, I mean that's what you do, because I like to tell scary stories around the campfire. You
Yeah,
have
but that's-
always interpreted that as what you're describing. The things that have been haunting you lately, which it's usually like your mortgage, skin, just skin in general.
Well, because mortgages are just so big.
Oh, they're huge.
Yeah.
And I know this because you tell that story every year. I just don't think it counts as like a scary story.
Okay, so you don't think... Okay, no, now I... Note taken. Okay, so I guess...
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Is that
hello? I hear a voice.
Oh, finally other people. Hello?
Hey, do you
Hi.
not work? You
Yes.
don't really like work out or anything? You're just really out of breath.
Oh, no. That was the longest meter I've run in my life.
And like, what's
Sorry.
a meter? Like a yard?
Yeah, we're in America. So, do you... American woodlands here.
You silly Yanks, a meter. It's like 3 of your foots.
Okay, so he ran 3 foots.
Yes.
Well, here, pop a squat, take a seat with us, get around the fire, have one of these. You want to go ahead and try one of these zip bits? Just stick your hand in that sack and just take one.
Oh,
You're cool, right? You're not a cop?
yes. Just I'll take one of your zit bits here, and that's...
Okay, yeah. Prove you're not a cop and take a zip bit.
If I take a zit bit, it'll prove to you that I'm not a cop.
Yeah, if you eat it. Yeah. That's one thing.
Well, look.
Well, an undercover cop has to tell you if they're eating a zip bit and they're on the job.
Right, so I will eat a zit bit right now. I put it in my mouth. It's incredibly warm, and there's more. Oh, it's bigger on the inside.
Okay, well, real quick, who are you? Sorry, my name is drlondonsmith.com. This is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
Oh, hi, yes. Hello. My name's Duece.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
As in the thing you take. Okay.
I didn't choose it.
Oh, wow.
It's just what they gave me.
Your parents named you Duece. That's not like a nickname for anything.
No, I was actually born in a biker bar
Oh, wow. That does make sense.
while somebody was taking a shit.
Oh, okay. And I got it. This is one of those things where the biker nurse mishears a word that someone else is saying and writes down Duece.
You know the story, yeah.
Oh, it happens all the time. I say 1 out of every 5 babies are named that way. Biker bar babies. Dr. London wouldn't know. He's never worked in that environment.
Unless I'm called to one.
He has never been cool enough to be on one of these calls.
But I'm so sorry. I am urgently trying to tell you something. I did run here for a reason.
And that's why we're listening so intently.
I've been to many different planets, many different timelines with this wonderful, weird person thing that hopefully you meet soon as they get over here. Doctor, please come help. Please come quick, Doctor.
Duece!
Doctor, please. I can't do this anymore.
Duece, keep shouting. I do hear you.
I'm over here. I'm so glad you finally found me.
Yes, it was. I'm so sorry. It took me so long to find you. Oh, you did find other people, though.
Yes. This is who I was talking about.
Well, she was just kind of standing over there when you showed up. Again, you weren't that far
A whole
apart.
meter.
I'm sorry. Sometimes when I get lost in thought, my mind just goes into other places and I just can't stay in one place. Yes, but we are here on a mission, and hopefully you two can help us.
I'm sorry, and who are you?
Well, you can just call me the doctor, but most people call me Dr. Whom. But
Same deal for me, actually. You can call me Doctor. I normally go by drlondonsmith.com, but you can call me Doctor if you want. The Doctor.
Oh, what if we called you Dr. Calm?
Oh, I do love that. Bloody swell.
The Doctor really seems like a better name.
There can only be one, so I think for now you're going to be Dr. Com. Anyway, Duece, did you get to tell them anything yet?
Not a single goddamn word, Doctor.
You know who is on the loose.
My life.
Whoa. Who's on the loose?
we are on a quest for one of the, I dare to say, one of the greatest villains I have ever faced.
The rudest individual.
Absolutely heinous.
Vile.
Ugh.
What are you talking about? Not a ghost.
Oh,
Worse.
much worse than a ghost. Why, we're talking about the Spookster.
I have heard about this.
You have?
And we're sure it's worse than just because yes, I've also heard of the Spookster, but so I was visited by this ghost of Christmas past one time, and it was so scary, and present and future as well.
Oh yeah.
And
and you're worried if this is even scarier than those ghosts, showing you your life and your life choices, and both in the past and the poor choices you're going to continue to make.
If that's what you're truly terrified, I mean, after this is all done, I mean, you could just hop in my phone box and we could just take a trip around the galaxy if you have the time.
and kill the ghosts.
Yes, if you want to visit the ghosts of present, future, past, or the present, of course.
Are a lot of these missions going to be analogies for Dr. London's past, present, and future decisions and regrets?
Every single one.
If so,
yes.
that might be just as triggering as the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future trip that he took.
Yeah, I'm really more about you hop in, you take your shot, and then you get back in. I want to get rid of these ghosts so bad because it's been every year.
Yeah, they will not leave him alone. And sometimes you have to be not much has changed since last year, guys. There is not new information.
Sometimes you have to just deliver the message a couple times for the ghosts to really understand and feel where you're coming from. But we could help that later if you help us with the Spookster.
Oh boy.
So both of you have heard of the Spookster?
Yeah, no, this thing, I mean, I've never seen it, but it supposedly terrorizes the town. It doesn't kidnap children, but it kidnaps people who are between 35 and 46.
Yeah. So that it's the kind of people that you gotta check in on them once in a while, make sure things are okay. But generally, nobody notices for a while. They keep themselves mostly anyway. They don't have a huge social life. And yeah, so it kidnaps those. Spookster kidnaps them, and then everyone's like, hey man, you okay? And then, eventually.
Yeah.
We find out.
It's the kind of thing where you see flyers around town for a Third Eye Blind concert. You do not want to go to that concert. That is a trap. Okay, that is trying to lure the 35 to 46-year-old crowd into a trap. This town does not get concerts like that.
What sort of concerts does this town get?
We do get this one guy who I've seen a few times. His name is the Spookmeister or something like that. He's so good. He sounds, Josh Brolin?
The actor, yes?
He sounds just like Josh Brolin singing. I've never heard Josh Brolin sing, but if you could imagine how he would, it's just like that.
Yeah. So, that's the music scene here. But yeah, so the Spooksters really, the kidnapping's a big issue, and then there's also, pushing people while they're waiting in lines for stuff, so they get pushed out of line just enough that they lose their spot, at the grocery store or whatever.
Yeah, that's been a big issue.
Incredibly annoying.
It's worse than we thought. We heard that it was some sort of evil incarnate, we had encountered it very, very briefly, just a few years ago, actually. It was kind of almost what one might call a teaser of sorts, and then he never really got back to us for a while, and then he got back to us again, and it just awful.
That is one thing I keep hearing about him is that he's such a tease.
He's a huge tease. That's one of the reasons he is evil incarnate, is because being a tease is the most evil thing you can do.
He texted me once and he said, "Would you like to see a picture of my nipple?" And I said, "Yes, of course, absolutely, fantastic." He sent it over and he had a little heart sticker over it.
Ugh. Well,
bollocks. Utter bollocks.
He said he never stays up this late texting. And then I talked to Janine, and he said the same thing around the same time. So I think he consistently stays up late that texting. It's not, he made me feel special about it, you know?
Oh, and then he's always like, oh, time zones. That's why I'm up early, time zones.
Oh, right, time zones.
He uses that excuse a lot.
Well, he's always like if I'm going to kidnap people at like certain hours, I got to like factor in time zones and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so you're too busy to like hang out. Again, I've never seen this person.
Right.
If person it is.
Or what is it? It sounds like y'all have gotten an actual glimpse of the Spookster.
Oh, right, I guess.
Do y'all, I mean, do you have any idea what it looks like?
Well, the thing about him, and as I'm trying to think back and remember what he looks like, it's just that anytime you look directly at him, all that you can see is yourself. Yourself in your most inconvenienced and terrified moment.
Right. It's like yourself, but just a little bit off. Just kind of that little off-putting, uncanny valley way.
The teeth just a little bit too large. The eyes just a little bit too far spaced apart.
See, I feel like I had the same issue. Like there's certain mirrors that have like a very similar effect for me. Like whenever they're really well lit with the lights all around them, and like it seems like they're curved just to make me. It seems like it's really trying to point out all my insecurities. Some of these specific style of mirrors, and maybe it was a Spookster I was looking at.
Well, and it's very different than your mirror back at home, which you've sort of taped up a photo of, Channing Tatum, who you look like on your mirror that you looked into, and you said, this is what I look like. And then you go to like a hotel or whatever kind of place you're describing, and the mirror's all fucked up, shows you this like weird like monster thing.
Yeah, you just have to correct your mirrors is really, for me, that's what it's come down to. But maybe I don't know, is there a plan to like, I don't know, Dr. Whom, is there a way to stop this from happening so I don't have to put up posters of beautiful people?
Well, see, and that's why we're here. So we did send him an invitation to get here, but as we've said, he's dreadfully awful, and he doesn't like to, show up on time. And quite honestly, he should have been here like 15 minutes ago.
Fucking flake.
So we're just trying to. Well, first of all, we're trying to kill the time, and then we're also just trying to, come up with a good strategy to, honestly defeat him. Like I said, he's one of my greatest foes. I haven't found a way to fight my own insecurities.
No, I mean, he is evil incarnate. Like I said, he's been haunting this town for a really long time now. When you're like when our local grocery store has less frozen pizza options than usual, that's his doing. He did that. There was a time where I was pushing Dr. London on the swing set, and it ended up breaking, and we found out he had just been on that swing set like 2 hours beforehand, and so he probably messed with it or something. He ate my grandma.
But she was ready to be eaten, so like that.
That's why I didn't want to elaborate too much, because it's like it was one of those Craigslist deals where she was like, I want to be eaten, and he was like, I want to eat a person. And he couldn't be convicted because he's like a spookster as opposed to like a person.
Which is the only reason why he won that in court. So like legally that's the way to be. Speaking of the spookster, not necessarily a person, and that's not mean of us. We're not dehumanizing because in the court, not a person.
It's like, is Bigfoot a person or an ape or whatever? No, it's just Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, let the courts decide. Is really where my stance is on that.
Yeah, I know, and I'm suing you over the definition of Bigfoot. So what? Like, we got to figure out how to defeat this evil incarnate guy.
And sorry. Also, is he said he's meeting us here just at this clearing where we posted up.
Yeah, this campfire we're at. You invited him here?
Well, it wasn't to this specific campfire. It was to these woods. As Duece already said, he was stumbling along, and we were looking for the spookster because you can only see him, just out of the corner of your eye when you least expect him. So, we have to at least decide on where we're going to meet first, and then kind of, go from there. It's right. There's a lot of communication involved that he just doesn't want to work through, and it's honestly getting quite tiring. I mean,
I will say, if you invited him and you just said meet at these woods, the communication might be on your end for the lack of specificity. I'm not going to blame that entirely on the Spookster.
In your defense, like I am calling it a woods. It is more like a ring of trees around this fire next to the highway. So like I get that, like that there could be that conception. Like surely he can find it if he knows where the woods are, because woods is just a ring of trees.
This is only because they've torn down so much of our wooded area around here to build these buildings, which I believe the Spookster's doing. He did that.
Right.
Yeah.
Lack of available parking. Spookster did that.
Yeah.
Prioritizing like parking garages over housing, and yet there's still like so little parking. Spookster.
Affordable housing.
Self-checkouts?
Lack of affordable housing in general.
Systemic racism.
Boop.
Yes.
That
Hey, I said boo. Hey, boo. Boo. Hey.
What is this gnarled creature before me?
Oh my God.
Sheesh.
I'm the Spookster.
It's evil. It's evil incarnate.
It's the cause of systemic racism in the
Doctor,
country.
it's him. It's the Spookster. Pure evil incarnate.
Evil
I'm
incarnate.
not the listen. I hear you yelling about slander into these recording devices. These two f***ing cosplayers. I'm a regular guy who just likes Third Eye Blind.
We've heard about you for years, Dr. London Knight. You've haunted our town for so long.
I live here.
Everyone talks about you. People put signs up.
They do.
What is the reason for this supposed confusion? If apparently you're so innocent and you're not pushing people at the grocery store.
I'm just a regular guy who likes to go to yard sales, likes to go to Third Eye Blind concerts, sometimes make my own, and likes to eat grandmas. Is there anything? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with these things that I just listed.
I don't know.
Now that you put it that way.
A crazy guy who shops at yard sales and loves Third Eye Blind?
Yeah,
That sounds insane to me. No one would ever do that.
I'm wearing Birkenstocks.
Oh, yeah.
I got my socks on. I'm wearing some denim vests. Multiple.
Yeah. And the grandma eating thing, again, mutual, was established on Craigslist.
Yeah, that was allowed. 'cause
legally, it's...
Yeah, there was a physician on site. Yeah, it was actually really well done.
It was you. You were there.
Yeah.
You looked me in the eye, drlondon.com.
I was a physician on site. Yeah, what are you getting at here?
Wait, you knew what the Spookster looked like? I'm the only sucker who had no idea.
Well, I put a
This is how the
mirror. I put a
Spookster-
funhouse mirror in front of my face so he didn't know who I was for privacy.
Oh.
And I also don't like to look at people who are below me, so I wasn't really looking at him anyway.
We get it, Dr. London. You are 7'3". He keeps talking about his height ever since he found these stilts, but we can move on from that. He's just a lot taller than he used to be and is not letting me forget it.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Honestly, I think drlondonsmith.com might be the bad guy.
Honestly, I might be kind of thinking the same thing.
I kind of had the same thought.
Oh, he is, for sure. Yeah.
But let's be specific. Which thing that I do is
Gaslighting.
Yeah, gaslighting.
They call it gaslighting.
You try to turn it around on us.
We call it gas torching where we're from, but nonetheless.
These two are been chasing me around all week, throwing things at me.
Across galaxies, across time.
You stop doing so many of these zip bits because they're going straight to your head and making you feel like you're flying through space and time and shit. It's just the parking lot of the Rockaway Mall.
Wait, am I hearing that you guys have had these zip bits before?
Oh, of course.
Because I have been losing some sacks from my barn lately.
Yes. Well, you see, in the future, zip bits are no more. So the only way that we can get them is to travel back in time, when they're still readily available.
Oh, okay.
And we keep them in our phone box where we eat them as we travel through space and time.
Mm-hmm. It's much smaller on the inside.
Their phone box is a Toyota Corolla. It's a blue Toyota Corolla, and the fender is completely torn off.
It stands for car, or road, or la.
Oh, that makes sense.
This man's on so many drugs.
That's what I'm wondering is like, but it sounds like before you go on these like time traveling missions all around the galaxy, you do take some of my zip bits. And that sounds like this is great marketing for me to know that it's kind of like how Tang helps out the astronauts, knowing that my zip bits puts you in this headspace that, throws you back in time or puts you in different worlds or,
Well, that's yes. Most time dukes and duchesses quite enjoy your zip bits. So yes.
It's actually favored by Grognak the 15th.
Oh, I don't agree with his opinion on what was it again, Dr. London?
Celibacy.
Yeah, it was celibacy.
Celibacy.
He said it doesn't exist.
Yeah, which I respect the opinion, but just don't agree with it.
Yeah.
It's got to be out there somewhere.
We were trying to find it. Science is trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But
someday. Okay, Now I feel like we have sort of figured this out. The Spookster's obviously clearly evil, clearly the cause of systemic racism. I feel pretty good about where we've landed on this.
Yes! Self-checkouts! Remember, self-checkouts!
Whoa!
He has so many crimes.
Whoa! Listen, I'm just a guy. I got very little crimes, maybe some speeding. Maybe some, like one time I told this couple I was going to watch their kid, and then the times got mixed up, and I didn't end up watching their kid, and they went out on a date for like 4 hours, and the kid was left alone. They came home, they're like, where are you? I'm like, I didn't come over. Can you still send me $20? They didn't. I got my date mixed up. I thought when they said midnight on July 13th, I thought that midnight, 12 p.m. and 12 a.m. is very confusing for me. So I thought they meant the night.
Yeah. Well, you don't. Is it the a.m. midnight or is it the p.m. midnight? Like, which side of that time change are you?
I'm just a regular guy who's fucking confused all the time, and that's not a crime. It's not a crime to be confused. It's also not a crime to be sad every day.
Yeah, no, look, we all read the transcript from your court case. Like, yes, I recognize that you kept saying it's not a crime to be sad, but okay, I guess. Okay.
I was crying the whole time.
Yeah, but you weren't on trial for that. I mean, you were on trial for other stuff.
And now you're going to be in trial, in space. Once you come with us.
You're coming with us to Space Corps.
I don't want to go with you guys.
You all pop some pills.
Listen, I work hard.
Get in the phone box.
I'm not going to get in your Toyota.
Spookster, if you are so innocent, then why did Dr. London and I grow up being taught about you in school? Dr. London and I have lived in this town our entire lives. And that is what you learn. I mean, in every class. It was in math class. It was in computer class. It was in dance class. Spookster would be brought up.
Yeah. I mean, usually by me, whenever I went to class.
Well, yeah. Well, you go class to teach about it. It might be history class, and you would say this bad thing that happened. Spookster did that. And so we've been learning about this our entire lives, and it's like...
Yeah, people are like, hey, what was the cause of the American Civil War? And I'm like, well... It's the Spookster. Like, there are a lot of factors. Involved, but it was in fact the Spookster.
Well, even in like math class, it's like, oh, this really hard problem. Spookster invented that problem. You're playing Oregon Trail, like at school, someone gets dysentery. Spookster did that. Dance class, teacher says that like you're not built for this. Maybe you should consider something else. Spookster suggested that to your teacher.
Well, they're all wrong. I just got one of those faces that people like to blame. JFK assassination. They thought it was me. No, it wasn't me. Listen, Shaggy made a whole song about pretending to be me. Talking about...
I thought you wrote that song.
Right, I thought that was you.
Well, I ghost wrote it for him.
Ghost wrote it?
Yeah, that's right.
I have a question just about the JFK thing, just really quick. You weren't there, you didn't do it, but you're probably familiar with...
I was there.
Okay, sure, you were there, you were hanging out. You were here in Dallas, and but have you seen the theories online about a second Spookster?
Yeah.
And could you speak to that at all?
It was a mirror.
Oh.
that I use for privacy. I left it in the top. I left it in my hotel room, and because I was across the way in a different building, the way that mirrors work is they reflect images and light, and because I was in the other building opposite doing my own thing. It was a dance party, actually. It was a pizza dance party for the employees of a small office. It was an employee-owned, employee-run office. Small.
You worked
small
there,
business.
or were you just attending this party? This was
No,
at, like,
I was delivering the pizzas, and because I was the last person who looked in the mirror and the first person at the pizza party, the people thought that I was in two places at once, but it wasn't true.
Well, what if I were to tell you
I was at the pizza party.
we were also there during that time?
At the party.
That's why I recognize you. You didn't eat my beautiful pizza that I made with my bare hands.
Yeah, were y'all working there, or were you delivering like a giant sub sandwich or something?
We were delivering the sub sandwich in disguise. That was our
I knew
undercover.
it.
Just yes.
Oh, you were undercover as like a mailman, just trying to
Right. I'm
deliver
just like
this sub sandwich in incognito.
yes. That's the word.
Okay, well, I guess that solves the JFK assassination.
Yeah, there's only one spookster. He was at the pizza party, and then Lee Harvey Oswald did it. Also, you are the spookster, so it's like you're so against the title of being the evil incarnate and the town's ghost haunting everything. But think of it as like you're the town's bad boy. You get to do whatever you want. Who's going to stop you?
I think I need to start leaning into it and wear a leather jacket and smoke one cigarette every day. Is that good for me?
Just one cigarette a day? I mean, that's not going to do anything. If you want the benefits, you would want like 2 or 3.
All right, I'm gonna smoke one. I'm gonna eat the other one, and then I will
Do it like a nicotine patch. What's that, Dr. London?
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to like become the spookster. Like,
I think so.
I'm trying to think of what the spookster's known for, and most of it isn't cigarette smoking.
Yeah, yet.
Like,
We're sort of rebranding
yeah.
here, Dr. London.
They were building.
I thought we were leaning into the existing brand. Okay, so
we're doing both.
rebranding.
Yeah, I
We're
think it can be
reinventing
both.
while leading in.
It's just the spookster is more of a Joe Camel type now. He's wearing a leather jacket. He's got a motorcycle.
I'm gonna go to the library. I'm gonna take out all the books. I'm not gonna return them.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the farmer's market, and I'm gonna rearrange the plants.
Oh, wow. So you're just going to do like a job, but you're not going to be getting paid for it or anything.
That poor vendor spent so much time arranging those flowers in the perfect arrangement, and you would dare sully that?
I'm a bad guy now. I do bad guy shit. I go under the bridge and I do heroin. I look at the cars and I say, "F those cars, f those people in those cars and their little lives."
The car heckling is one thing we didn't get into, but it is maybe the worst thing, honestly.
I yell
how,
real
how
loud.
mean it is to cars.
I stand under bridges and I stand on bridges and I yell at the cars and I say, "Those little people in their little lives, they don't know what it means to be a spookster."
Yeah, see, here's the thing. You've been doing all this stuff already, and yet we had to convince you that you are the spookster.
Yeah. Well, I lost myself.
Oh, wow. That can happen on Halloween.
Eve. Yeah.
Eve, yeah, the eve of Halloween. The eve of All Saints Eve.
Well, thank you everyone for coming to our bonfire. Thank you to Duece, Dr. Whom, and the Spookster for joining us. Is there anyone you want to shout out? Anything you're a fan of?
Oh, well, we do enjoy this great podcast. We do get to enjoy it on our many travels. It's called Dead Waves. It's an improvised paranormal podcast where the hosts, they give supernatural advice of all sorts to callers of all sorts. Anything to add, Duece? You're just staring into the fire.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking forward to the next time that we get to listen to Dead Waves. We can play it over the speakers in our phone box and listen to it loudly as we travel through space and time and listen to the hilarious supernatural advice and paranormal problems.
You've had far too many zip bits now, haven't you?
I can't see anymore.
Does traveling through time feel a lot like doing donuts on like the top of a parking garage?
A little bit, yes, it does.
That's pretty cool.
After the bonfire, do you want to come join us?
Yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
Great.
Don't invite Dr. London.
Well, in the Spookster, we don't actually want to. I don't trust whatever you'll say here.
You can come with me. We could do heroin under a bridge if you want.
Oh, nice. Spookster, you can come with us. Just no Dr. London. It's just the four of us.
Okay, cool. All right. I don't know what to say here. It's real awkward now that you're not allowed to come with us.
I think Duece and I are going to just kind of start heading out.
Thanks,
because it
Scott.
got
So
real
thank you.
weird here.
Yeah, and
so.
Dr. London, if you can start cleaning up just a little bit, just kind of take everything. I'll leave my keys. Just take everything inside.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, I'm actually no, this is awesome. I'm just glad that we got to hang out for all this time so far. That was
so great. Bye.
Yeah. All right, thank you to Duece, Dr. Whom, and Spookster, and to Cameron, and did you know the host?
Oh, much less than a ghost. Why, we're talking about the Spookster.
Worse. The Spookster. So both of you have heard of Spookster.